Yeah.
Because normally person that is selling the boat, they already got experience, they know everything about the boat and so on. But somebody that is stepping into the world, you don't know anything, you are exposing yourself to the world that you have no idea about.
Oh my God, I'm just playing with them now, yeah. Oh my God, what she's saying, say it loud, yeah.
Jane, I'm excited about this. First of all, you're One Life Club member, which is so great to have you there. 2, you are a yacht and boat broker.
Yep.
Now, I've been in sales for many years. I employ a few hundred salespeople, and in real estate, there's a lot of male and female brokers, if I can call them that.
Yep.
But when it comes to your industry, it's a really male-oriented industry. I've been buying boats since I was 22 years old, and I'm 45 now. I've never met a lady that's a yacht or boat broker.
Yes.
So great to see you running your own
Thank
business,
you.
Sydney and Gold Coast now
Yep.
as well.
Just opening up.
Just
building,
opening up.
Which is cool.
Now, tell me, who is Jane?
Who is Jane?
Yes.
My goodness, okay, where do I start? So, when I was young, I've always been so determined, right? So I think I was just born with this gene. I don't know
Yes.
where it came from, but I've always been very competitive, very determined.
Yes.
So when I grew up, I was working in the corporate world.
Yes.
I was in a job where the challenge was gone. And I
Yes.
remember, sorry, Mum, got to say this, but she was like, just stay in this job. It's security, right?
But you can't blame your mom or
And-
dad because, I remember my mom and dad, they would tell me, son, get a good education, get a job,
Absolutely.
buy a house, find a lady you're going to marry, have kids.
Yep.
But that's all our parents know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you kind of, a lot of young kids these days, when they tell me, oh, my mom and dad want me to do this, and they're so, angry with them. I said, don't be angry. Your job
100%.
is to listen to
Totally
your mom
agree.
and dad.
Yes.
And what they tell you, it comes from a good place.
Absolutely.
But doesn't mean you have to do what
Absolutely.
they ask,
100%.
And you can't blame them, Even myself, I can only give somebody advice.
Yep.
What I know.
And they only want the best for you, right? End of the day.
100%.
And I totally understand that. But in myself, I was like, no, I've got more things to do. So I ended up in another role where I was actually 21 years old in a corporate industry, actually at exec level. So I
Yes.
was like high up, 21, dealing with like managers that were in their 40s and 50s, right?
Yes.
So it was a little bit like, who's this woman that's so young and doing so
Yes.
well, right? Because I was so determined and kind of grew myself up to that level really quickly. And that was a lot of controversy as well, because
Yes.
this young woman in this industry doing so well in exec
And
level.
which is wrong to judge somebody by their age.
Exactly, yeah. But it was hard, but you kind of block the noise, and that's what
Yes.
I've always been. I suppose that's kind of something that is positive for me. I'm able to
Yes.
block the noise and
Yes.
and go for the goal.
And I think it's important as well. I remember when I was actually 18 years old and when I started my first business. And being 18, first thing that I convinced myself is I'm not going to use my age as an excuse why I can't do well in
Yeah.
business
Yeah.
or why I can't talk to others.
For sure.
Because obviously reality is, if I walk into a meeting room now and if I see somebody 18 years old, I'll be like, oh, how much do you know? But
Yeah.
it's wrong. So with myself, I didn't want to let myself believe that I cannot handle having conversations with people that are more experienced
Yeah.
or much older than me.
Yeah, yeah, so righto. And then from there, I'll just fast forward a little quickly, otherwise I'll go on forever. I left the corporate industry. The challenge was gone for me.
Yes.
And I said to myself, I've got to start my own business. And
Yes.
I actually seen a niche in the paddleboard industry. It's something you don't know.
Yes.
And I designed my own paddleboard brand. I knew where the
Can you actually paddleboard yourself?
Yeah, I got into it. I was actually a trainer. I loved it.
I got a
video.
video. I got a video. I think I'm gonna send it to Scott, who is filming this. You can actually put a clip here. Me on paddleboard.
Oh, there you go.
And it looks so easy when you see other people on it.
How did you look on it?
But when you, oh my God, that's why I want to send him the video. But when I went on it first time, oh my God, it's actually hard to balance.
Yeah.
Just like riding a bicycle. First
Yeah.
time, what you're doing. But it didn't look easy. So you designed yours.
Went to China and did all that, and I thought I'll design my own brand. But this is where I learned so much in business for myself, because I built this brand. It did go well, and I was selling a lot of product. So 44 containers coming in, selling, pre-selling. It was going well. But what I learned in this industry is you put in the effort, it's working, but the margins weren't right. So
Yes.
I wasn't actually I was doing well, but I wasn't doing well.
Yes.
So now I kind of
All
know
depends all depends how you see it.
Yeah.
Starting first business at any age, younger you start, better it is because you got more time to fuck up. You know, you got more time to learn. So I think, you know, how old were you when you started the business?
I was probably around 27.
27.
27.
So starting that business, you know, looking for the manufacturer,
Can't work out my age.
negotiating with people, you know, marketing,
Yes.
selling, cash flow, money coming in, money going out, you know, you can't pay yourself. All that is part of, you know,
Learning,
growing
right?
up and learning. And especially when you're in 20s, you have time to say, you know what, this is maybe not for me. Maybe I need to, you know, do something else. But I think the skill that you really learn is how to actually
100%.
run business and yourself under pressure.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, if you make mistakes, there's nobody else that can lift you up.
Yeah.
You make mistake yourself. So I think that's phenomenal experience that you got.
Yeah, I agree.
Little margins,
Little margins.
and then you decided.
Yeah, and I suppose just going back to what you were just saying as well, it's about you've got to have like 10 caps on, right? Because you've got to
Yes.
learn you learn all your, it's like accounting. You're like really an accountant as well because you've got to learn your profit and loss and all your margins and everything, expenses, and then
And you're
marketing
starting, and it's,
you know,
but it's so
the
interesting.
logistics, all the-
It's so interesting when anybody starts their own first business, you don't know any of that.
Yeah.
You know, you're not an accountant.
Yeah.
You know, you're not a marketing person or salesperson, or you know, so you trying to wear all of these hats in a business that you have no fucking clue about.
100%.
You know, so idea is phenomenal,
Yeah.
vision is great,
Yeah.
but then all of these puzzles you need to put together,
Yeah.
and then you need to hunt for the knowledge so you actually don't make those mistakes, so you can actually do well, which
Yeah,
is really
so
interesting. This is just another conversation that I had with somebody the other day. How crazy it is for somebody who is 18 years old, just out of high school, for them to pick which university they're going to go to. So, I'm going to be a doctor, or I'm going to be a lawyer, or whatever it is, but you got no experience in that. How do you even know that you like it?
It's like, yeah.
How do you know that you actually, when you're 18, you don't know really what you like?
Yeah.
You know, you don't know what you're passionate about because you're so inexperienced in life, full stop. But you got to make a decision, what are you going to study for 4 to 5 years?
Yeah.
And quite often, you know, kids would study something for 1 or 2 years and they would drop out because they would think, oh, well, this is not for me.
Yeah.
You know, but 2 years wasted. So what should they do? What should people do when they're 18? Do they go straight away to uni? Or do they actually spend 12 months maybe working in 2, 3, or 4 different fields for
And
them
then
to
finding out what their passion is as well. Hey?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, it would be a lot easier
Yeah.
if we all start living from age 90 or 85 and then
then
go
go-
backwards.
So true.
You know, now I know what I like, but when you're freaking 20, it's like, fuck me, you know, what do you want? What do you like?
Yeah.
It's always a different experience.
100%. 100%.
So you learned a lot
I
starting
learned
that
so
business.
much. I think I had like the 8 out of the 10 ticks, but I just
Yes.
had lost those 2 as well. And then, you know, the market kind of dropped because BCF and Anaconda came in and
Yes.
they knew that the market was picking up, so they came in and overtook with like paddleboards that were cheaper and all that kind of stuff. So
Yes.
there's a few things I would have done differently now, but it was such good experience, and that's exactly what you were saying. So I went from that, and while I was doing paddleboards, I actually designed up boat, like marine pads, like fun air docks and all that kind of stuff. So
Yes.
that's how I got on the marine side. But also my husband, he owns a marine group.
Yes.
So he fixes boats. He does electrical and mechanical, and he has
Yes.
a team of trades.
Yes.
He came to me and said, Jane, you need to get into brokerage. And that's how it
Yes.
started. And I sat down and I thought about it, and I processed it, and I thought, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm not only going to work for someone, I'm going to start my own brokerage company.
So did you even work for somebody as a broker, or just start
No,
your own from day one?
Straight into it.
That's how I
Mel,
started my
straight into it.
real estate business 8 years ago. You know, I've been in business since I was 18, but 8 years ago I said, look, I'm going to start my own real estate company. Never worked in real estate, was never a real estate agent, and start, which is a hard way to go, because if you work somewhere else for 5 years as a broker,
Yeah,
you can
it's
see
sure.
what they do, you know, you can
Yep.
learn. But when you just start yourself, then you're learning again
Yeah.
as you go.
And I think it comes down to determination, passion, and time.
Yes.
So I had to have put the hours into learning as
Yes.
quick as I can and sponge as much information as I
Yes.
can to be able to catch up
Yes.
quickly and run a business. I had a vision of what I wanted to do, so hence why I didn't really want to work for someone else because I've been there.
Yes.
And I'd done my paddleboard business, so I kind of wanted to keep running my own business as well.
Yes.
So I put the time and effort, but what was really quite, not hard, as difficult as being fresh in the industry,
Yes.
a female,
Yes.
and I'm just being upfront, it was the truth.
Yes.
There was so much noise from
Yes.
like in the industry going, oh, you know, like who's this woman coming in thinking that she can sell vessels
Yes.
and boats and yachts?
Especially when you're dealing with dinosaurs, the guys that have been around for 30, 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
Nobody likes the newcomer, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? You know,
Yeah.
what do you know better than everybody else, you know, from
Exactly.
that perspective as well. But the thing about your industry, starting your brokerage firm, I feel like every business is hard. You know, there's no such a thing as an easy business. You know, we all gotta pedal really heavy to get somewhere. But the risk is not as great like importing product from overseas, because right now you really are selling your time, and your knowledge and your connections and negotiation skills. But that's all it is, you know. And so you don't have to import $2 million worth of paddleboards and look for the buyer. You know,
100%.
now you are really, your product is your client's product.
Yes.
You know, somebody else's. So from that perspective, you know, there's not that much outlay compared to actually importing stuff.
Yeah, for
So when it comes to industry, your industry, I've been monitoring it very closely since I started my real estate business,
Okay.
because I feel like your industry is so old school when it comes to marketing. I feel like, you know, a lot of people in your industry, they're heavily relying on all the websites that are available out there so they can put a product, either their own or boat sales or whatever is
Yeah,
out there.
sure.
But I feel like they're not really capitalizing too much on what's right in front of them. Social media, everybody's on it.
Yeah.
I've been following you, obviously, last few days. I've been monitoring your social media. You actually are active.
Oh, that's good.
So you are active. So what do you think you're doing that your competitors are not? Or should I say, what have you seen in the industry that you can do better than others?
Okay, personally, I think the process. So it's a long-term game. There's a few things to talk about, actually. It's a long-term game. So like you can't think, I'm going to sell a boat to a client right now, because they need time.
Yes.
And I feel that some people can come across quite desperate because they're trying to sell now and get the get the commission, right? So some people need time, so you build that relationship. I've had situations where it's like 2 years, 3 years
Yes.
with clients, and when they're ready to sell, they're ready. But you've been there to massage them through the process. In regards to what you just said, I totally agree. In regards to things like boat sales, boats online, a lot of people just chuck the listing on and hope
wait for the
best.
buyer to find them.
And then try and they have a database sitting there, say like of X amount of clients. It's like the calling. It's quite old school calls, you know, and just trying to push them into buying a new boat or selling. So I feel like the social media aspect, there is a number of people that are doing it, but there's heaps of opportunity there for sure. Yeah.
So think about what I've been thinking, you know, finding a right broker or right person that's going to be, I mean, you are selling boats, they're not $2,000 boats. Your boats are 100 grand, 500,000, 1, 2, 3 or $10 million.
Yep.
And I think you get a big boat, I think that's $8-9 million for sale. And it used to be parked at Runaway Bay Marina. That's where I used to keep my fishing boat, and I used to see it. I think it could be even called Mistress.
There's one called Mr.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
And I think I've seen it on your profile as well. So dealing with clients like that, you know, what would you say your expectation of sellers that you're dealing with? Is expectations to have the boat sold in a week or 2 or 3 or 4? If it is only 1 to 2 weeks, how do you explain to them the process and convince them, hey, I can dump this boat and sell it in 2 minutes, but I need to chase the right money for you, so it might take me 6 months.
Yeah, I think every situation is different, to be honest, Emil, and all depending on listing price, the economy, where, you know, the type of boat, if it's a popular vessel, if it's not a popular brand. Maybe things like Riviera Maritimo, you know, there's certain brands like that in Australia that are known and sell well.
Yes.
And there's a lot of new brands that have come in as well that are not as well known, so they're going to take longer to sell.
Yes.
So there's a lot of aspects when you're selling and purchasing a vessel. But myself dealing with a seller, that's my job, to be able to build the trust and actually give them like the positive feedback and correct feedback, not the bullshit feedback, you know. And
anybody in Australia, so your clients are Sydney and Gold Coast, but you sell boats everywhere.
Yeah, international as well. So we've got clients internationally. It's spread out. We've got a huge clientele in New South Wales and potentially in Gold Coast region as well as building. So, but it's pretty extensive database.
I'm excited about your business and yourself. You know, with what you do. Question for you: why the hell should I use you to sell my boat?
Okay, why you should use me?
Yes, or anybody else that is watching this. And this is not a sales pitch, but I've been dealing with that many brokers over the years.
I know.
And I came to the point. I think once I said, you know what, this is shit. I'm just going to sell my own boat.
Okay, so if yourself and your wife came on and said to me, "Hey, I want to buy a boat."
Yes.
I would sit down with you and take the time. It's all about time and knowing your needs.
Yes.
And that I'm in no rush to sell you a boat, and we'll find you the right boat.
Yes.
I have the knowledge.
So you're building the trust with the buyer as well, not just the seller.
A lot of people turn over boats like every 3, 4, 5 years. It's a little bit different to real estate. I think it's quicker. Actually, I know it's a lot quicker to turn over. So a lot of people that get into boating, they start for 50 foot, then they end up with a 70 foot, and they end up going with 90 foot because they love it so much. They go bigger and bigger as they go. So it's a long-term game, and it's all about actually being friends with your clients. Like I've got so many friends, and knowing I can have a laugh on the phone is cool, and you know, and that's what it's about. And also obviously having the knowledge in the product. So and also with the survey process, that's probably the hardest part of selling a vessel.
Yes.
Because there's actually 2 negotiation stages. So so someone comes and says, "I want to buy that boat. I'm going to put an offer on $2 million," and it gets accepted. It's usually 90% of the time subject to survey and sea trial.
Yes.
So survey meaning they get their own.
And there could be finance as well on top of it.
Yeah. And usually we don't usually deal with finance, to be honest.
Yes.
So anything that's above like 1.5. Usually it's no finance clause.
Yes.
That's what I've been finding. I hardly come across it actually, but so subject to survey and sea trial, that's usually the case. They get their independent surveyor in to fully go through the vessel, and they usually get 2 actually. They get someone to do the hull check. The whole boat gets lifted out of the water, and they fully check the hull for osmosis, structural, all that kind of stuff, and then report it. And then also you get a mechanic that comes in and does a full check of electrical engines, everything, to make sure everything's running. It's quite extensive, and it's quite a hard process because it can be quite negative as well. So they're all excited about buying the boat. They get a surveyor on board, and there's always going to be things that come up.
Yes, of
so it
course.
can bring them back down, and you've got to keep the emotions going, right? Say, hey, look, there's only like 10% of the vessel that, you know, there might be a few issues here and there. And so then it goes to the next negotiation stage. Well, you know what? There's a few areas which are not right. Let's take off 30,000, and then I've got to renegotiate with the seller.
Yes.
You know?
So there's no end.
There's no end. Sometimes it can go on. Like I just sold a vessel to an international client, and it went on for, I reckon, 5 to 6 months, the process. Right?
But so which means you had to be patient enough and work with buyer and work with the seller till actually everything is finished.
I could easily have gone downhill and not gone ahead.
Yes.
But you've got to be patient and find solutions.
Yes.
It's finding solutions. Don't worry, we find, you know, and you just got to have it obviously be switched on. So, yeah.
Well, there you go.
So it's not
I'm
easy
comfortable to sell my boat.
That's the reason why you should come with me.
I agree. One thing that I feel like, I had this discussion with you the other day. There's a gap in the market. And the gap that I'm freaking excited about, I feel like there's a solution for anybody that wants to sell the boat. And solution is, they come and see somebody like yourself.
Yep.
You can tell them good reasons why you're the right person for them to use your services so you can sell the boat, which is fantastic.
Absolutely.
And you're not the only broker in Australia, in the world, so many out there, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But if I want to buy a boat, I feel like there's nobody out there representing buyers, because your job is to help the seller and get them the right money, make the process seamless, everybody's happy, boat settles, seller gets the money, you get paid, you wish everybody good luck. If I want to buy a boat, I am actually hunting for boat. And my thing is, okay, I got a kind of great experience with fishing boats because I love fishing, right?
Yeah, sure.
But now I want to buy, 80 to 100 foot yacht. What brands are good for me? Where should I buy them? What's a good deal? What's a bad deal? Oh shit, I actually don't have time to look for one. So I feel like there's a market heavily for kind of a buyer's broker or buyer's agent to say, hey Emil, we're here to help you. You tell us what you want, Emil. You know what, Emil, what's your budget? X amount of dollars, how big boat, how many bedrooms, whatever it is. So I give them descriptions and broker tells me, Emil, we're going to look for on your behalf. We're going to save you time. We're going to make sure we get you right vessels. We're going to probably see 50 of them, select 5 that are fitting your criteria, and then we're going to get you to come and see it, and we're going to negotiate on your behalf. I'll be happy to pay the fee. Question that I have.
Yes.
Can people use your services for you to help them buy the boat?
Absolutely. Definitely.
There you go. So anybody that is watching this, you want to sell your boat, you're going to write boss lady that can sell it for you. But if you want to buy one, which I think is a massive market for people that want to get into boating world and spend money and they don't know anything about it, because normally person that is selling the boat, they already got experience, they know everything about that boat and so on. But somebody that is stepping into the world, you don't know anything, you are exposing yourself to the world that you have no idea about. And getting the right person that you can trust to help you with the process to find it, I think is so freaking crucial. So anybody that is watching this, you want to buy a boat, you'd be crazy. I'm not here promoting Jane, but business like Jane's because it will help you massively. It's just a freaking common sense. Full stop.
I think just a button there, as I do always. Sorry.
No, please do.
When it comes to, I think my point of difference as well is, not being too feminist here, is the females and the wives, because I'm really into the design of a boat and the interior layouts and like things like the saloon and galley. Galley's really important when it comes to the wife or the business owner, female business owner. And then they can say, hey Jane, this is kind of like what I'm looking for. And usually they don't know boats well, so I can in my head like listen to them as though it's like a house. So like this work kind of like, this type of stone bench top. And then I'll be able to say, hey look, this is what I advise. And then be able to work between the husband and the wife as to their needs and put it together. The wife is always she usually signs the check, to be honest.
Well, normally when it comes to real estate, every time I see husband and wife, I always say, what the hell are you doing here, buddy? If you come in there by yourself and you're married, just don't bother, because your partner, wife, she's going to make all the decision if you're going to buy property or not. Now, what it is that you love about industry yourself?
Oh, I just love it.
Because we got no fucking time to waste in our life.
No.
If you don't love something, we shouldn't be doing it. Would you agree?
We love it. We love boating, so that's what I do. So we've always been into boats. We have a boat at the moment that we go out on and take my little 4-year-old out on, and we literally like live and breathe it.
Yes.
And I'm really fortunate that I've got obviously my husband and I together that are in the industry, so we literally talk 24/7 about it when we wake up. So you have a passion for it, like anything. You've got to wake up and actually have a passion for it. And just love the new designs coming out. There's such a huge amount of brands now.
Yes.
And it's
if you had to spend $2 million on a luxury boat or family boat out there, what would you say is the perfect $2 million boat?
Oh, it depends. Yeah, there's so many options. Like whether you want to go, like Gold Coast is really good for day boating.
Yes.
So the Lamborghini. Lamborghini's there. So it all depends on. Whereas in Sydney, I feel like, just a sports cruiser would be perfect because you can stay overnight. So I don't know. It all depends. There's so many. There's lots of boats I love. Can't really.
That's like when I talk about cars. Somebody says, "What's your favorite car?" I was like,
it's hard.
I got 6 of them because I can't. One is for every different occasion.
Yeah.
What it is, you operate Sydney and Gold Coast now as well.
Yeah.
What's the plan?
So the plan is to obviously build the brand even more. So we've got Sydney based at the Sydney Boathouse, which is in Rozelle under the Anzac Bridge, and we've got a couple brokers there. My plan is to build up Gold Coast.
Yes.
And because we'll be able to just focus on the east coast of Australia, that's
Yes.
really kind of our niche is the Sydney, the Gold Coast. So we've got a lot of clientele there. So having brokers on each end, we'll be able
Yes.
to work some deals there. So that's where I see it.
But people can also use you if they want to buy a $10 million boat in Europe. They
Yeah.
can still talk to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So there's a lot of that goes on.
I feel so happy that I know yourself and your husband now. When it comes to
Yes.
me buying the boat, I feel like I've got somebody on my side that can help me with the process.
Yeah.
Question for you. What is your purpose in your life?
Purpose in my life is just to feel like fulfilled and happy because
Yes.
I get bored really easily. So if I don't have things to do, it's just my personality. I'm like, oh man, I've got to do something,
Yes.
My purpose is in life to build a business to a point where I'm just comfortable as well,
Yes.
and to know that I've built something myself. I just
Yes.
enjoy it, and be in an industry that you're passionate about as well. So, and yeah, what about yourself?
Great about this. I'm interviewing you. So, great question. I think when we are very young, not that we are old now, not that I'm old, but when you're 18, 19 or 20, in a way you think you're going to live forever, right? And older you get, then more you value your life. And now being 45, I know that I'm only a tourist on this planet. I'm halfway through my life. If I get to live to 90, which is a freaking very, not everybody gets to live to 90 and healthy life as well. So with me, I'm a big believer in utilizing my time wisely. And my purpose is, one, to make sure I'm happy within.
Yeah.
I can look at myself in the mirror every day and I smile, I want to kiss it because I'm happy within.
Yeah.
And I feel like that I'm on this planet to make a difference in other people's life. In every surname, my surname goes back 600 years. In every surname, they say there's going to be one person in generation that's going to change direction of the generation of the family. I feel like my family has been freaking poor for 600 years. Money is not everything.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that.
But if something happens to me today, my partner, my mom and dad, my brother, his wife, their 4 children, and 100 generations of Jurassics, they're all going to be looked after.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is money is not everything, but I say this to every person that works for me, especially guys. I say to them, if you die today, will your wife and 2 kids, are they going to be okay tomorrow? Is your partner, are they going to be stressed about the, loan or rent? Are the kids going to have, good clothes on their backs? And if the answer is, they would be stressed, well, work fucking harder.
Yeah, for sure.
But Jane, it's been a pleasure. I really look forward to watching, your business thrive as well. And I think you have a good intentions. You want to do right thing by people, and you can see that by just talking to you. I personally definitely look forward to using your services, and I'm sure many people that are watching this, and any female that's watching this, hey, you can go into men's world and freaking dominate and kick their asses too. So thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be part of One Life Club as well.
Thank you. Awesome. Boom.
That feels awesome. Really
Get out of my office now.
See you later.
Oh my God, I'm just playing with them now, yeah. Oh my God, what she saying, say it loud,